Hi guys, welcome to Stephanie's journey. I am about to do a garden tour for you guys. It is September the 18th. I did a bunch of cleaning it in here, so I'll let you guys see what I done. So stick around, stay tuned, and thanks for joining. This is what I got out of my garden today. So far, I've been out here messing around. This has holes in it, worm holes or whatever. So I don't think I can eat that because I think it might have worms in it, but I don't know. Somebody comment below and let me know. The plant got vine borers, so it's gone. I got some okra. I've only only gotten 4 off of there. No, 6. And then I was checking my potatoes. I watched a video that said see if they're ready. Just dig back the top surface of the soil to see if you can find one. I only found 1. So I'm going to let them go a little bit longer too because they started to green, but we'll show you that. This is my big producer for this year. The only thing that's really been giving me anything so much is this pepper tree. Well, not tree, but plant is still blooming. I still fertilize it by hand most of the time. So I think that's why I've gotten so many peppers from it. I give them away because I don't eat that many, but I'm going to try to make some pepper sauce, hot sauce with the ones that I have because I've been saving them in the fridge. So I'm going to do that. This is 2 of my 4 okra plants. You can see the roots of it is big on this one. That one's starting to get big, but neither one of these have produced anything yet, but they're on there now. So I should be getting some soon. Got a bunch coming up, bunch of flowers. So hopefully a bug has eaten up this second one, but I sprayed it. So hopefully soon it'll be okay. But this is the smaller other 2. You can see it's skinny compared to the other one back there, but it's growing. This is where my tomato was. I pulled it up, it died off. And then my basil went to seed, so I'm going to let it seed and get the seeds off of it. I think you can still eat it without it. I mean, it went to seed, but I'm not for sure, but I'm going to taste it and see. This is my bell pepper, green bell pepper. And it only produced 1, and it was small, so I think this may be a mini bell pepper, but it has a bunch of flowers coming, so I might get a few more before it gets cold. They say the first frost is November 4th, so I'm zone 7B. This is that tomato plant I replaced the other one that died with. I got this from Lowe's. It's late, and it got some kind of disease. I don't know what it is. I cut most of the leaves off, but it had these spots all over the leaves. Somebody know what that is, comment below and let me know. I think it's blight, but I'm not 100% sure. But got a bunch of new tomatoes coming. I think it just didn't have enough air. See that? What is that? Let me know. But now they got tomatoes growing, but I thought they would get bigger because this is a big boy. You can see the name on there is Big Boy that I got from Lowe's or Home Depot, one of them, I don't remember. But it's been struggling, and I made 2 plants out there from the suckers and gave them away, and then I kept 1. So I got tomatoes coming on both of them. And I haven't gotten any off of them. And I thought they would be bigger, but they're the size of the globe one that I had over there. They look about the same size. So, we'll see. This is my sweet potato plant. And I got a bunch of mulch down on it. And I've been wrapping the roots around as they grow down. And I put some of them up. But it does have a bunch of flowers blooming, so probably in about a month or so they'll be ready. Usually about 4 to 6 weeks after you get a bunch of blooms, they're ready. But I'm gonna let them die back. So probably at the end of October, right before the frost, say November the 4th. So I'll get them sometime around there. This is my eggplant. I've gotten 3 off of it. It looks like it's about to get some more flower. And last year I actually made it through the frost, and I had a few on there, so, but I had it in the bed. I didn't have it in the pot last year, so maybe I'll get some more this year too before the season ends. But I don't see anything else on there. These are the ones, my okra plant, that are pretty much producing. I've gotten like 6 off of here, and they have a bunch more on here now and flowering. This is the first one that produced. I had one down there, but it hasn't produced any more since. This one is the one that's been producing, but I do have some coming on here, so yeah. And hopefully I get a bunch more before it gets cold. And people were saying it would get 7 feet tall, but maybe because I planted it so late that it's not that tall. But long as it produces, I don't care how tall it is. I planted some new cucumbers, but of course they got the same disease. That's the one that were hanging up that produced nothing. Every time they grew, it got worms. So I didn't get any cucumbers but one this year out of 4 plants. That is my thyme that finally came up, and then it just stopped growing. This is my sage. I need to trim this back some, but I haven't even been using it. These is my coriander that went to seed, and I already got a bunch of coriander seeds off the other one that went to seed, but I'm still letting these go to seeds and get more. And then these are my onions, and I spooned them. I watched the video and it said you're supposed to spoon them, so that's what I did. And I cut them back. It said to cut them back, but they grown back out again, so I'm probably going to cut them back down to this length again for these few. But I did spoon them so they can get air around the roots and keep going, because they say that's what makes them big. My rosemary, I don't know, it started getting some kind of foam stuff at the top parts of it, and then it looks like it started dying off, so I don't know. I bought that from the store. This is where my turmeric is. Every time it grew a leaf, it died, so I don't think any turmeric is in there. But I put the tomato in here because it was a waste of dirt. And this one was doing the same thing as the other one. I have pruned it to death. And it looks much better. And I do have some tomatoes on here, and then I have some more that has started to pop out. So hopefully I get some tomatoes this year. I'm praying, because I haven't gotten any big tomatoes. I got a few off that globe, and then I got a bunch of cherry tomatoes before it died out. And I spooned these onions, but they're not growing as fast. But they're growing, and I started these onions from seed, so hopefully they get big soon. My elephant ear, this is my avocado tree, and it's doing good. It's a little yellow, so I think it needs some nitrogen. This is my other onion. I spooned this one, but I guess dirt went back over. This is the biggest one, so that gives me hope, because the bulb on that one is getting really big, and I'm looking forward. These are my bunch of onions. I haven't pulled these up, but I cut them back, and I've been getting a bunch of these snails crawling around everywhere. This is my parsley, and it died back a little bit, and then it came back, so I've just been letting it go. I get a little bit if I need some. This is my scallop squash. It got vine borers and died off, but then this leaf started growing back on its own, so I just left it to see what it's going to do, because I have another one that did the same thing, and then I got 2 or 3 squash on it. These are some spinach. They had all turned yellow. I had too many in here, so I took some out, put some in my garden bed, and now they're starting to turn green again. They're not green as they should be, but they're starting to turn green. And this is just 2 plants in this one, 3 in that one, and 3 in this one. So hopefully they'll start growing. I started this one over here at the same time, and see how much greener this one is, and it's only 1 in here. And this is some spinach I got from Cali Kim. Look at that, they got a flower on it. We don't want it to flower. So I've never had this kind before, so I don't know what it tastes like, but I probably said I was going to start cutting a little bit off of it and just see what it tastes like, because I don't know, it's not the type of spinach I generally eat. So if this doesn't grow, I'm going to pull this up and use that dirt. I just pulled that squash up, and I want to reuse that dirt for something else. That's just my storage where I have some stuff in here. This is the squash that actually came back to life, that had vine borers. So I've been spraying it with BT spray, hopefully, and it has 2 down there, and then it has new buds there, and also down there. I need to, prune it, but that part of the vine is green, so I don't know if that's why. But where these are is part of this one that had the vine borer, so I don't know if when I sprayed the BT oil on it, it killed them or what happened, but it came back to life. So I'm gonna see if they grow, because I didn't get any squash hardly this year. I think 4 or 5, because the ones that I had in the bed, vine borers got them again, and they died. This is a volunteer tomato plant. I have no idea what kind it is. That one's turning red. Something ate it, but I left it on there, so whatever it is, if it come back, it can keep eating that one instead of eating up all my tomatoes. But this thing is producing like crazy. And I put it on Facebook to see what kind it is. One of the Facebook groups I am, they say they think it's a San Marino, but I'm not sure. I didn't grow San Marino last year, so I have no idea where this came from at all. But it has a bunch of flowers and a bunch of tomatoes, and I'm going to pull them off and see what they taste like, and then if it's a paste tomato, then I make a paste. This broke off from the storm, and it had baby tomatoes on it, and that one big one, and the one is now coming out. So I just stuck it in this bucket of water and see what it does. I think somebody told me you can just stick it in dirt and it'll root, but I wasn't for sure of that. Comment below and let me know if that's the case, and I'll just take it out and stick it in the dirt. But right now I just got it in water and hoping it grows. This is my potato. One of them, they were actually 90 days was the 5th, but I dug around in here and I have not seen any. Oh, there go a potato. And they said to check to see if it's ready, you go to the root, to the top, and just finger around the thing to see. So it has one in there, so it may be ready, but I'm not going to pull them up yet. I think they still might need a little while, because see, they had all turned like this brownish color, and then they just started greening again. It got ants all over it, so I hope ants ain't in there just eating them all up. But I don't know, because this is my first time growing regular potatoes. I grew sweet potatoes last year, but they didn't do much of nothing. So I don't know. I saw that one potato in that one, and I planted these on June the 6th, and I planted the other ones that I have on June 5th. So not sure, but I'm gonna keep letting them go, because that potato I got out of there is small, but the red potatoes that I had, they were actually smaller potatoes anyway, so that might be okay. This is where I replanted that spinach, and I've been composting in place here, because I'm going to plant my collard greens and my kale in the next couple of weeks in here. This is just an extra sweet potato slip I had. It probably won't get any sweet potatoes in here because it ain't been in here long enough. But I put it in here anyway. And I'm just going to let it do what it do. This is another volunteer tomato plant. Don't know what kind it is. So I'm just letting it grow. Doubt if you get anything, but it is what it is. This is a yellow pear that I planted from seed. And I'm just letting it grow. Got a bunch of tomatoes on it, but none of them have turned yellow yet. It's a yellow one, but it has a bunch of them. And I've got to go in the house and get something to tie this bottom limb up because it rained and now it's hanging. So I need to tie that up. This is my kale. My collard greens that they had them green cabbage worms all over it. So I sprayed it with the BT and they're all dead. And I put them right there. But it had more than that. The other ones, I guess, probably fell down in the soil. This is a new green bean that I planted. Try to get a few more green beans. And see, I got some coming. Right there, right there. So hopefully I get a bunch of green beans. I love these green beans. They were so freaking good. They're bush beans. And I only had 3 plants. Next year I'm going to plant a bunch of them. Look, another basil that has fallen over. My basil didn't do anything this year. But as you can see, I got a few coming still on this one. That's ready. So I'll come back and get it. And it's a few down there in the dirt that's coming in too. But these two have pretty much died out. So I'm going to pull these up after. Oh, I got a few on there. See? On this one anyway. This one still had flowers. It still got a flower on there now. So, but this one wasn't doing nothing. It's pretty much dried out. It has one on there. A couple that's small. So I may let them go. Then I'm going to pull that one up. And then I planted another one over there. I replanted 2. So I got those 2. And then this one I planted late. So that's why this one is still going. And it's pretty good and green. So it might produce as long as those other 2 until it gets cold. This is a basil plant that I planted, but didn't prune it right. So it didn't grow correctly. But next year I'll prune them correctly. So that they grow into an actual tree like they did last year. But last year I actually purchased them. So they were already started for me, so I really didn't know how to do it. And this is where I started my sweet potato starters. And so I still have some in there. And I just started them from those little teeny little potatoes that I had from last year that I grew. And I put a thing up here and you guys can see how to do the sweet potato starts on your own instead of paying all that money for sweet potato starts. Just save some of your potatoes you grow. It's a waste of money. This is another tomato plant that was volunteered and it is still growing, so I just left it. This has green beans coming, so I'm excited about that. You got some weeds growing in here, but I need to pull those up. And I'm excited about this plant because it has a bunch of tomatoes on it. Just excited. This was some slips that was in there. I just pulled them up. It was just one, and now it has 2 vines, and I just threw it in here. This is where my zucchini was, and it got vine borers, so I just put that potatoes in there. And they ain't been in there long, so I don't believe it's going to do anything. Might get a bunch of little fingerling sweet potatoes. This is the only marigold I had left that I didn't pull up, and it has blight or something too. But I just left it as a pollinator because all of them hadn't dried up. I actually got some seeds from a bunch of them so that I can have some seeds for next year. This is where I got that potato from. And see, they had died off. And then again, this one, the same thing, started greening. So I came over here, like the video told me, to just dig around the root. And see, oh, there's another potato. So there's potatoes in there, and these are the little new potatoes, I believe. I don't know if y'all saw that because I was looking and wasn't looking in the viewfinder. So it's a bunch of potatoes in here. There was another one. And this was planted on the 5th. The other one was planted a day after. So it might be potatoes in here, but I don't know if they're quite ready. So I'm going to leave them probably another week or so because they're still really green. So y'all comment below, y'all people that have grown potatoes before, and let me know if I should pull these up or not, because I don't know. I really don't know if they're ready. I don't want them to stay in the ground too long and get eaten up by something. But I don't want to pull them up too early and don't have nothing in the ground. Because I was digging like on this side. This is a big root, but I don't see anything over here. So, and they may all be deeper down because I healed them instead of putting it all down in there. This is another volunteer tomato plant. It has blight or whatever that is too. But I just stuck it in here with my carrots. I didn't put these carrots in here. I did not thin them out. But they're growing. I just checked around it. I'm so sick of all these snails. I just checked around the base of it to see what they're looking like. And like, see, this one is 2 beside each other. So they're small because I didn't thin them out. But some of them have space. But they're not ready. They're still small. So they need to stay in there a good month more or so. And I've been getting cherry tomatoes off of this one. They've reddened some. But right now I don't see any. I got flowers, but I don't see any tomatoes. Birds may have come and gotten them. I don't know. But all the ones that's on there, I got them. And I still have that god-awful hornet's nest. I got stung a few weeks ago, and I don't know if it was by one of them or what. And I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital or something, but I didn't, and I didn't get it out. I don't know if the stinger got in there, but it stung me on my back and then on my hand. This is my ginger, and I came over here and did the same thing that they told me to do with my potatoes, and look, I got ginger, y'all. Can you see that? I don't know how much, and these, they keep popping up. So I got a bunch of ginger in there. This is a new one. That's a new one, and this is a new one. So I do have a bunch of ginger in here, I'm hoping. I probably should do the same thing around that turmeric, but the flower never came up, so I don't think none's in there. And these are my other thing of sweet potatoes. I planted them probably a month later than the other one, but they're flowering as well. So, and they got worms too. But I sprayed that BT oil, that BT spray on there. I watched some video and they told me about that BT spray. Look, more. And that BT spray is the bomb. Didn't use it last year. It's supposed to be organic. Probably ain't good for you. But it stopped them from eating up my plants. I mean, they were killing them. But they haven't been back on here since. And I come out here and spray it every week or after it rains. This is another potato plant that I started really late. And it had 2 that came up. One, something ate it. That it was over there. So it still might grow underground. I don't know. But that's all there is. So I'll just let the sweet potato go in here with it. So I might have sweet potatoes and potatoes in the same pot if they root, but I doubt it. But this one's growing. It hasn't flowered, so I don't know. And I put it in this pot because I wanted to see how it grew, because it had this little door, but there are no roots down there. So probably ain't doing nothing, but they need to go for a long time. And the same with these. I see some roots in this one, but no potatoes, so probably ain't nothing in that one either. It ain't ready yet. It just started flowering, so it ain't ready for potatoes yet. So that is pretty much it for my garden update. This video is 25 minutes long, so but please comment below and let me know about these freaking potatoes. So I don't know if I need to dump them out. I want to do a potato harvest to see, because I'm so excited now that I see that some is in there. I don't know how many, and I don't want them to all to be teeny tiny. So again, thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all in my very next video. Bye bye.